Hello everyone, and this is my review for Monday Night Raw on May 4th, 2015. And well, I mean, for fun reasons, Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. All that good stuff. I know this review's coming out later than that. But on with Raw this week. Honestly, I personally did like Raw this week. I thought, some really interesting changes going into the Payback pay-per-view. Storyline build-up has been a little bit better going into everything. I like certain aspects of Raw. There was, certain other areas that I didn't like as well, but, you take the good with the bad. And in this case, I felt this week was more good than bad. I liked how they started off the show with... I do like the aspect that, they start off the show with the whole triple threats area, and then they, of course, do the whole aspect of Roman Reigns and Randy Orton having to team up with each other and trying to cause dissension and everything like that. But the aspect I really liked about it was that with their match with the New Day is that, it wasn't one of those moments where they just... they worked together for this moment and they overcame those odds. No, they actually, set up their main event for the night, like I said, for the night with Roman Reigns and Randy Orton, because Roman Reigns inadvertently spears Randy Orton, costing him the match. I like that aspect because it allows the New Day to build a little bit more, and now they have the win with a win against like Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, and they're inside the tag team matches. So it helps build them. They didn't actually use their tag team champions as punching bags for once. That's the good thing right there. They didn't use the tag champs as punching bags in this case that they've used so many times before. Now that it seems like they're actually attempting to build this team into something bigger than what they are. So that's a good thing to see. The match with Kid and Cesaro versus the Ascension was a relatively good match. It was a good way of attempting to get Kid and Cesaro more over as a face team, because now because of how the New Day is now, they've caught themselves in they've caught themselves with the New Day finally really being a heel team versus trying to be they're trying to be babyface, but they're completely heel because they're starting to use the cheating tactics, everything like that. But they pass off this era of positivity and everything that is almost fascist as well. They're so corny, they're hated by everybody. It's the weirdest thing. It's not really the weirdest thing, but it works so really, really well, and it's working for the New Day. And they use the match with the Ascension, with Kid and Cesaro versus the Ascension, to help build them as more of a face team, because these two have been heels for so long as well. So now they're kind of switching their roles. The one thing that's necessarily caught behind all this is that, well, they completely gave up on the Ascension, which they didn't really have a very good start or anything afterwards. So it's unfortunate, because they did definitely have a decent rundown in NXT. Not decent, but a really good rundown in NXT with how they were being built, and they got brought up and they were pretty much squashed within a month. So that's one unfortunate thing there, but hey, it is what it is. The Rusev storyline with you have the Rusev storyline with Cena going into the I Quit match for the Payback pay-per-view, but you also have the sub-storyline where Lana's finally gathering, or they're having Lana actually acknowledge the fan interaction, or the fans' liking of Lana itself. And I like how they're doing it, because it can get Rusev more over as a heel by forcing her to leave or do things like that, because it's at least going to get him some kind of heat out there. And I really like that aspect that they're using it that way. Now they can play that storyline off as well, where how much longer will Lana actually take this from Rusev before leaving him, and she becomes a face or something in that aspect, or where they're going to actually go with that. I like where they're going with it for now. They're definitely going and we'll see where they go with that in the future. That's definitely something that came off really well again on Raw. It's come off very well over the last couple of weeks that they've been doing it as well. The Bray Wyatt Ryback promo. That was actually a really good promo by both people. Like, Bray's always been good on promo, and we've seen glimpses of really good promos from Ryback, but the two interaction there was really, really good this week. I liked what they pulled off between the two of them. It was fairly entertaining. I even liked how Ryback started, acknowledging the fan chants as well. And, just going off with it and actually bringing them back in to doing Feed Me More chants in there as well. It was really well done with these two, and I'm liking I'm actually... it's hard to say why I'm liking the program between the two of them, but I'm liking it right now. It doesn't seem like it would be something that would mix and gel well together, but it is at this point in time. Because you have how you have Ryback talking about... first of all, you have Bray Wyatt talking about being the new face of fear, and then how you have Ryback talking about, it's like, oh, I take fear and negativity and make it a positive and everything like that. So it's gelling together well, when I did not necessarily think it was going to right off the bat. So that one came off really well throughout the night as well. The aspect with Nikki Bella and Naomi is going a little bit further now. Now they have Naomi coming out there with Tamina to kind of even up the odds in a way. It's always weird to see a heel having to bring someone in to even up the odds. Usually it is a face having to bring in a person to even up the odds, but since they've switched the roles with the Bellas being the face and Naomi being heel now, it was good to see that they brought Tamina in there. And I like the aspect that they did use Tamina to be Naomi's backup in this case, because obviously with her being married to one of the Usos and Tamina being cousins with the Usos, it actually works as a family thing. So not too bad there with that particular program as well. The one program I did not like, and maybe it's just because it came off so corny, is the Stardust R-Truth match. The whole bag of plastic spiders moment was... I get where they were going with it. It wasn't good. They were playing off the whole fear of spiders for R-Truth and everything like that. It just wasn't good. The promo by Stardust beforehand, Cody Stardust, he's been delivering great promos as of late, and it's actually been fairly entertaining to listen to him cut a quick promo before a match, and I hope they can do a little bit more with it down the road with him, and actually give him a program that will suit the characters at some point in time. I wish they would have finished everything off with Goldust a long time ago, but hopefully they give something to Stardust here really soon that's not just, let's use plastic spiders to scare R-Truth and win a match that way. Probably the best thing of the night was the Dean Ambrose, the whole aspect behind Dean Ambrose. This was the one real big swerve of the night, I thought, was them making it a fatal four-way at the pay-per-view versus keeping it a triple threat, because we really hadn't had the triple threat yet. So it was almost weird that they would make it a fatal four-way in this case. The match with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins was really good. It was fun to watch. It was just a great segment overall. I liked how J&J's security tried to get in the way. Like, they weren't initially there, but they tried to get in the way at the end of the match. It came off really well, and honestly, most people were not expecting Dean Ambrose to actually get the win, and they make it a fatal four-way. Most people were assuming they would just keep it triple threat because of where they were at right now with Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and Seth Rollins. Those guys kind of worked all together, and Dean Ambrose has just kind of been Obviously, he worked his program with Seth last year, but he's kind of new coming into this particular program right now. So, it's one of those moments where, like, it's kind of weird that they went with the Fatal 4-Way, but it's not a bad thing. This is a really good thing. It just adds more to the match itself. And I mean, just as a full-on side note, now you have all 3 members of the Shield. When they were, the 3 members of the Shield, now all going for the title at a pay-per-view match. So that's actually really cool as well. So they're, really wanting to use the new talent to their fullest advantage. The last aspect that I'm going to talk with tonight was the debut of the night, and what I thought about it and how everything was going, because I'm actually relatively decent sized, a relatively big fan of it over in NXT. But tonight with the John Cena US Open Challenge, they initially had Bret Hart come out, which was surprise in itself right there. So I liked the aspect that they used with Bret Hart and Heath Slater, and I actually do like the aspect of what they're doing with Heath Slater with this US Open Challenge. They're kind of wanting him to come out and challenge, but then something happens and he's taken out of the picture. The first time was an RKO. The second time, Rusev comes out there and attacks him from behind, stopping the challenge from happening. This week, you have him talking about those 2 things, and then he gets in the ring saying how tired he is of getting attacked out of nowhere, and then Bret Hart attacks him out of nowhere and knocks him out. I like this aspect. I don't know how long they're going to play that off with the U.S. Open Challenge with Heath Slater. I hope it does lead into a relatively quick match between the 2 of them at some point in time, or that the 2 of them actually get a match and they actually finish that program. Small minor program inside of there. But then afterwards, Bret Hart announces that Sami Zayn is the actual challenger. Big pop, great response for Sami Zayn coming in there for the first, not the first time. He had been on Raw before doing one of the NXT matches before the NXT special on Monday Night Raw before. But the response for him that night, obviously being in his hometown initially, but still the big response that he got was a great sight to see. It was unfortunate that, like, really early on in the match, or it was even a rumor that he did it while he was amping up the crowd, he hurts his shoulder throughout there. But it didn't really hinder the match, because obviously they stopped it briefly and then they continued it. But it didn't stop Sami Zayn from doing the spots that he wanted. Hopefully that injury wasn't too severe, and so he's not out of action for a while, and just for overall general health in general, you don't want to see these guys ever get severely injured, even though it does happen at times. So like overall with that aspect of the match, it still turned out really good despite the injury happening. They got some really good spots in there. It was entertaining to watch. It was great to see Sami Zayn on Raw for the first time, not for the first time, but as going up against someone that wasn't or still down in NXT at the time. So just a great way of debuting Sami Zayn in this case. I like the entire segment in general. So like I said, overall, really good Raw. I won't say great, really good though. Good story building in there. The aspect of Dean Ambrose getting added into the title picture in this case came off really well. Sami Zayn debuting, how they're working with Rusev and Lana now as well, came off really well. Honestly, they're outside of, like I said before, the whole Stardust R-Truth thing, there wasn't too much bad to say about Raw this week, and that's a good thing. That's always a good thing to say, because sometimes there's weeks where it's just like, how much longer is this going on for? Why is this still going on? This week, really easy to watch. So that is my review this week for Monday Night Raw, and I thank you guys for watching.